It's been 10 years since I got married. I wanted to have one wedding, one husband, but as many dresses as possible. Let's revisit them together. There she is, Valentino couture, the first one I wore for the celebration. I wanted to be an Italian designer, of course, to start with. And La Capitale, no? The capital of Italy was a good way to start. In Italy, we had this big event called Piazza di Spagna. The Italians will know what I'm talking about. It was all the couture house having fashion show, walking down this Piazza di Spagna in Rome. And I remember watching the Valentino pieces were incredible. Later on, when I became a fashion editor, a very generous stylist gave me her ticket at a Valentino show. And of course, I was standing in the back of the back of the back. I remember like see these shows and Mr. Valentino coming out. The creative director at that time were Pierpaolo Piccioli and Grazia Chiuri. I had the honor to have a dress made by three masters, and I say three because also Valentino himself was still gravitating around the house. The very first needed to be like a gesture, almost like the first look of a fashion show. All the meaning of what's coming, but in a very restrained way. Pierpaolo and Grazia just did this like super beautiful white show in New York. I was like blown away about this purity of the lines, and so I thought that was a perfect way to start with something completely pure. We had this very 60s, almost monastic. We wanted to look like very, very, very composed. Also because it was in Sweden and the civil wedding needed to feel very formal. There is this movement which I love in Sweden called Swedish Grace. And it's very much like neoclassical, but pure and restrained, as if it was like all in plasters. This was the reference from Balenciaga, which is quite ironic that fact that now Pierpaolo became the creative director of Balenciaga, we had very much in mind this inspiration. A little bit of a 60s and vintage and fused with the modern elegance of Valentino. This was the fitting and this was Rome. We did the very first try-on that was in New York in a suite, and Pierpaolo and Grazia were there for the Met Gala, so it was a lot of fun. I did the second fittings in the atelier in Rome, which was an experience of its own to walk into the palazzo. Those portraits are being taken by Lindsay Addario, which is incredible, powerful woman, a dear friend of mine, and she is actually a war photographer. We were joking with my mom, saying only somebody called Battaglia as a surname can have a war photographer for a wedding. The dress name is Pure Essence. It's a good name for this dress because it's the essence of couture. It's white, it has no embellishment, it's only construction. The construction is pretty incredible. It has a zipper here, the cape, of course, the dress, and then this beautiful corset that holds everything up, which is beautiful, even just to look at the way they stitch the tulle with the boning. We went for what it's called gabardine couture. It's quite of a dry fabric, almost like a masculine feel. It feels like butter, almost, right? It's a problem because then after you can't go back to normal fabric. It's quite epic on all open like this in the back. Looks like a flower, right? It was so comfortable. And it made me feel like a papessa. I need to fact check this, but it was a woman called Giovanna that was a pope for a very short time. At the beginning, it was supposed to be a knee-length. Pierpaolo and myself were having a conversation about being in Sweden, in my mother-in-law house, and so to be more, would you say, demure. But then when Grazia came, she was like, okay, I understand your thinking, but you are Giovanna, and so be Giovanna, and you are going to be monumental. It's the beginning, right? This is simplicity, purity, and then what's coming later, it's a build-up of extravagance and so on.